Are you a big fan of Aragon, How to Train Your Dragon, or Game of Thrones? All of these have dragons as the main part, but for some reason in Dungeons and Dragons, we only ever fight them occasionally or get help from them at times, but you never have them as part of the game. Why is that? Have you ever wanted to ride a dragon in D&D? I know that it's a big dream for a lot of people, but you can only ever do it when you take that one ranger subclass. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that. Why is there not something that any character can do? Any class, any character, just dragons. Well, that's exactly what we asked when we came up with the module that we're going to be talking about today, our Dragon Rider module. I'm Tyson Child, you're watching PG-DND, and this is our Monster Week video. If you're not familiar with Monster Week, it's a community event that's hosted by Ginny D and Pointy Hat. With that in mind, make sure to support small content creators and big ones alike, and go watch all of the videos that you can. We'd really appreciate it. This year for Dragon Week, we decided to go all out. Along with our new Dragon Rider rules that we created, we are also going to be doing a one-shot later this week that will utilize those rules. So if you're at all interested, please go check that out. We'll also be doing a few shorts for good measure. So with our Dragon Rider rules, we wanted to create the most customizable dragon that you could have without breaking the game, of course. This is going to allow you to have any class, any character, ride a dragon. You can start from level 1 all the way to level 20. We have all of the rules laid out, and today in this video, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be breaking down each and every step so that it's easy for you to adopt this into your game or to create an entire campaign around this idea. Keep in mind that these rules are playtest. If you have any ideas as to make this better, we would love to hear it. So let us know in the comments down below. This is for the community. We want to give it to you for free, and we want you to be able to enjoy it at your game. The first thing that we're going to want to do is build your dragon, and this starts just like a character with your ability scores. You can come up with these ability scores any way that you do at your table for your characters. When creating your dragon, I would highly suggest to use a separate character sheet to fill it out as if you were making a second character. Just make sure that after you've given them all their stats, that you give them an additional +2 and +1 to 2 separate ability scores. That way they will be able to be on the same level essentially as your characters. Those typically come through your character's background, but as your dragon's not going to have a background, we're just going to give them to you flat out. Your dragon will get ability score increases at the same time as your player character typically. This is going to be at level 4, 8, 12, and 16. Now in the new 2024 rules, characters are able to take feats at this level. Your dragon, however, is not. It just gets the ability score increase. Your dragon also will start as a small creature. It will have a speed of 30 feet and a fly speed of 30 feet as well. You can pick 3 of any skills out of the skill list that you want for your dragon to be proficient in. The languages that it starts out speaking are Common and 1 additional language. Now this is typically Draconic. However, your dragon is not normal, and whatever language you want to give it, you can give it. If you want to be able to speak Halfling with your dragon, go for it. This is the time to really start customizing your dragon. Your dragon's armor class is going to be calculated through 10 plus its dexterity and wisdom modifiers due to its natural armor. With your dragon's hit points, they start off with a D6 plus Constitution modifier, and that's going to be at each level they get that. Now it might seem a little bit low, but we're going to get to it in a second. It's all going to make sense. Your dragon will also have proficiency in the dexterity and the wisdom saving throws. You're also going to pick a draconic lineage. Now this is going to pick the color of your dragon and what element it is tied to. This is going to play a lot of factors down the road, but for now, it's going to give it a resistance. The colors versus the damage are black, they get acid, blue, lightning, brass, fire, bronze, lightning, copper, acid, gold, fire, green, poison, red, fire, silver, cold, and white, cold. These are pretty typical colors. If you want to do something crazy, work with your DM and figure something out, but those are just the generic types. Your dragon has what's called a bond. Now, this bond is a relationship between a dragon and a rider. This relationship can only be formed by one dragon and one rider. You cannot have one rider having multiple or one dragon having multiple. This gives both the dragon and the rider special abilities as they level up and as they grow closer to one another. This bond can only be broken through one or the other dying, or through a major event that you as a player or as a DM see fit to bring this on. But the intention is that they're supposed to be very hard to break, and you only have one of them. You and your dragon will roll separate initiatives. On your dragon's turn, it has a few actions that it can choose from, one of which being the fire breath attack, which it can shoot in a 15-foot cone or a 30-foot line, and any creature within that space must make a dexterity saving throw. The DC is equal to 8 plus your dragon's proficiency bonus plus its constitution modifier. On a failed save, the creature would take 1d6 damage of the same damage type that you chose in the dragon lineage section. This feature can be used an amount of times equal to your dragon's proficiency bonus per day. The damage for this attack levels up with your dragon. At 5th level, it's 3d6. At 11th level, it's 5d6. And at 17th level, it's 8d6. Your dragon also has a rend attack, which is its melee attack. You can use either strength or dexterity, and it has a range of 5 feet. On a hit, it does 1d6 plus strength or dexterity slashing damage to its target. This also levels up. At 5th level, you will be able to do 2d6 damage. At 11th level, 3d6, 17th level, 4d6. Your dragon can also utilize spell casting. This is done through all of the rider's spell slots, spell DC, and spell attack bonus. If a concentration check needs to be made, this is done through the rider's concentration, not the dragon's. The dragon is able to cast them on their turn, but they do utilize anything that the rider has. Now that the basics of your dragon has been made, we go on to its features that it gains at each level. At level 1, it gains the ability called One Heart. This allows the dragon and the rider to share hit points. Each creature can use an action to transfer their hit points from themselves to the other. This can be from the rider to the dragon or the dragon to the rider. These hit points cannot exceed the maximum hit points of either creature. Both creatures cannot be unconscious or incapacitated to take this action. They also need to be within 30 feet of one another, and if one or the other is dead, they are not allowed to receive hit points from the other. At level 2, your dragon gains the ability Dragon Sense. This gives the rider the ability to see and hear through the dragon's senses. It's a bonus action to activate, and they must be within 1 mile of one another, and during the time that this is activated, the rider's body is incapacitated. At level 3, your dragon gains an increase to their fly speed. This increase is equal to 10 additional feet. They gain this increase at 6th, 9th, 12th, 15th, and 18th level. At 18th level, they will have a maximum fly speed of 90 feet. They also gain the ability Draconic Agility. At this time, they gain an additional speed type. They can either have a burrow speed, a climb speed, or a swim speed of 30 feet. They will get an increase of this by 10 feet at 13th level, making it 40 feet. At level 4, your dragon gains the ability One Mind. This gives the rider and the dragon the ability to communicate telepathically with one another. They must be within 1 mile of each other and speak the same language. At level 5, your dragon grows. It is now medium-sized. And with that comes many abilities. You gain the ability that we are all here for, Dragon Rider. The rider can now ride the dragon. Your dragon also gains extra attack, which gives it the ability when it takes the attack action to make 2 rend attacks instead of 1. At level 6, your dragon gains the ability Drake's Sense. Depending on what ability you chose during your Draconic Agility, this is the one that gave you an additional speed type, they gain an additional feature. For Burrow Speed, they gain Blind Sight up to half its regular sight. For Climb Speed, they gain Dark Vision out to 120 feet. For Swim Speed, they gain the ability to breathe underwater. At level 7, your dragon gains expertise in one skill. This gives them the ability to add their proficiency bonus twice to one skill that they are already proficient in. They also gain the ability One Body. This gives the rider resistance to the same damage type of the dragon's lineage. At level 8, your dragon gains the ability Infuse Strike. Your dragon may take a reaction to give the rider an additional 1d6 of elemental damage to its attack. This elemental damage, of course, comes from the dragon's lineage. The dragon and the rider must be within 30 feet of one another. This reaction is done before the attack is made. This additional damage will become 2d6 at 17th level. At level 9, your dragon's movement speed is increased by 10 feet. This is its normal walking or running speed. At level 10, the range of your dragon's breath attack is increased. They can now pick between a 30-foot cone or a 60-foot line. At 18th level, this will again increase to a 60-foot cone or a 90-foot line. When your dragon reaches level 11, it is now considered to be large. And again, with that size increased, it gains additional features, such as its elemental attack. This means that every time it takes the rend attack, it adds an additional 1d4 worth of elemental damage to that attack. At 17th level, this will become 2d4 damage. Your dragon also gains an additional extra attack. That means when it takes the attack action, it can now do 3 rend attacks instead of 2. At level 14, your dragon's rend attacks gain a range of 10 feet instead of 5. At level 15, your dragon gains immunity to its damage type rather than just resistance. At level 17, your dragon is now considered to be huge in size. At level 19, your dragon gains an epic boon. So long as they have the prerequisites, they can pick from any on the list, same as characters in the 2024 rules. At level 20, your dragon gains the feature Lord of the Skies. This gives them a +4 to their strength, constitution, and 1 additional ability score, up to a maximum of 25. And that concludes all of the features that your dragon will be gaining. Now keep in mind, this will increase your party's power level. So when you're building encounters, please also consider each dragon to be an additional character. Now that we've given you the rules of how to do this, it's your turn to create those epic encounters. Give your party those airborne fights that they want. Make things grand in scale. Don't just limit yourself to a room with 4 walls. This is all part of the fantasy of riding a dragon. And make sure to have fun. You're literally going to be riding dragons. These rules are, of course, down in the description below for 100% free. We want this to be for you and for the community as a whole. So please let us know what we can do to improve upon it. We would love your feedback. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. And from all of us here at PG-DND, we love you. Goodbye.